Jeffrey Epstein's Zorro Ranch has long been shrouded in mystery, and it seems like the mystery's getting more attention. And that is what we're going to look into today. A lot of unanswered questions. I've previously looked into Lay Island. That's in the Manor if you want to check it out. But let's see what's been happening out at the Zorro Ranch because I've not looked over there to see really too much about what's happening. Of course, I'll allege for entertainment purposes only, not fact checking download snarky opinions. If you're a big fan of Epstein, get the heck out of here. And welcome this morning. I hope you're all doing well. Let's get into looking at the article I found. Badadoom. Al Jazeera. This is photos show grave-like plots at Epstein's Zorro Ranch tipster claims. Okay. A member of the public sent images to state lawmakers, claiming they showed dug-up burial sites the emails show. This was from March 17th, 2026. This is now March 23rd, 2026, when we're filming. A member of the public claims to have seen these plots at Epstein's former ranch in New Mexico. Is it his former ranch? Anyhow, okay. Shared purported burial sites with the lawmakers who are investigating Jeffrey. Listen, these people aren't like, do reporters like learn how to write anymore? Like, I'm not going to claim I'm like a reporter over here, but when you keep repeating the same things like 3 times, I'm like, I don't have Alzheimer's right now. So, all right. The claims, which have not been independently verified, have not been previously reported and do not appear to be included in the Epstein files publicly disclosed by the United States Department of Justice. The department had released. Who wrote this? No one. The department had released millions of pages related to criminal investigations of the financier in late January, some that referenced the ranch. Al Jazeera obtained the tipster's correspondence and photos via public records request with the New Mexico Department of Justice. Now, how would they know that there was a tip? What? Okay. In an email on February 16th, a member of the public whose name's been redacted told Democratic Representatives Andrea Romero and Mariana Anaya that he or she had broken into Epstein's former ranch in 2020 and come across multiple plots that were dug up. The tipster, now that seems familiar. Okay, so maybe this is how they knew that the tipster sent the tip in. I feel like I've heard that story before, like some guy would say, oh, I was in there doing work or something. I don't know if it's the same tipster. Don't at me, but okay, so maybe this is how they got the tip. Anyway, because that person I think was supposed to be working there. This one's saying they broke into it. Don't be breaking into people's properties. Oh, especially, can you imagine you break into this ranch? Oh, no. I realize this might be illegal, the person wrote. Sir, you knew that was. Referring to their act of venturing onto the property, but men like that don't deserve the protection of the law. Well, okay, I'm sort of with you there, bro. Anyhow, so there's some pictures. This is what he's claiming, this with the rocks scattered on top. Okay. Shared exteriors. In the white yurt, they must have been doing rituals where they felt like they needed a defibrillator, one person wrote. Romero's leading the bipartisan commission looking into Epstein's activities in New Mexico. La-da-la-da-la-da. Oh, there's the famous yurt. And Romero, she couldn't provide further information about the credibility of the claims. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh, this is the da-da-da tip, the yurt. We believe that they removed the bodies as there was multiple shallow grave-like plots that were dug up. In the white yurt, they must have been doing rituals where they felt like they needed a defibrillator. In the files, the yurt is mentioned as well as how to clean it. Link provided. The yurt is located at these coordinates in Google Maps with the graves around that area. I hope this reaches you all. And then best signed whoever. That's the tipster's email. What else did they say? Oh, I orchestrated a break-in at the El Zorro property. Is it called El Zorro? I thought it was Zorro. Whatever. Okay, so that's the whole tipster's email. That's where we are. So some tipster, what is it? Who is this? An image purports to show the interior of the yurt on the grounds of Jeffrey Epstein's former ranch. Is that a statue? I assume. Well, I assume he's not there on duty all the time, this man. Okay, there's a picture of the ranch, mansion, whatevers. Here's the supposedly defibrillator. There's a fire extinguisher. Okay, so that's what we got. That's what we got. All right, let's get down to my questions. Because you know I got a lot of questions. And we're going to start with true crime and conspiracy deck. I kind of broke them up in 3 piles. We'll shuffle them a little bit. The decks are available in the shop at aliciawicker.com. All right. But I want to do the energy on the ranch. Like, what's the whole energy, the vibe there at the ranch? I'm sure it's not good. Not good at all. But that's what we're going to look into, because I need to show, like, why would he choose this property? Like, out in the middle of nowhere. Now, maybe, as we've surmised in Secrets and Scandals Live, happens every Tuesday in the Manor, perhaps this was like a great spot because of the politicians associated with the state of New Mexico, who seem to be less than lawful lawmakers, in my opinion. So that could be part of it. But we're just going to get into it. This deck, ready, Freddy. One more, and we're going to give it a go. Energy at Zorro Ranch. Let's get going. Secret weapon. Project Bluebeam. What are we doing out here? This is not meant for just a rando prevert. Okay. Lockdown. Get a rope. Mountains. Are there mountains there? I don't know. Haven't looked at it on one of those maps. Topographical. Is that what they're called? It's a secret, no doubt. Loyal. I'm sure anybody's health is at risk that entered that property. Danger. Don't go. Satan's playground. Outside. Okay. I'm going to just interpret this gift over here to sacrifice. All right. Last one. All right. So we're summoning things over here. Okay. First off, I'm getting this here. These. It's giving me very much that other ranch. The one that's had the TLC, no, History Channel show where they do weird things. Weird things happen there. But I think it's related to the government. Can't remember the name of that place. It'll come to me. There's things like that going on. Okay. And we're doing lots of partying. There's a lot of documentation of what's going on. And last week, they're gaslighting up the place. It's not what you think. It's not what you think. Now let me check the comments, see if you guys remember that ranch that I'm talking. Skinwalker Ranch. Thank you. That is it. Okay. So Skinwalker Ranch. I think we've got a lot of maybe aliens. I'm going to say yes, there's maybe aliens. And so we'll say that's natural-ish. I don't know. I'm trying to say it's different than there's also, I'm getting like government weirdness happening at the same time. So, all right. Now, it's definitely, we're doing multiple things here. Let's just keep those here. We're doing multiple things here, though. This is like, it's secret, it's secluded. There's like, feels like partnership with El Governmento. I don't know that there's a partnership with the alien faction yet. I'm not getting that. But there's definitely like risk to people's health if they're on the property. And I don't just mean if they're being voted off the island by other attendees who were there. There's, I don't think you would classify them as EMPs. Something like there's a vibration that comes from the land that can be detrimental to certain people. And I feel it in my chest. No, I'm not having a heart attack at the moment. But it's like there's a vibration that comes from the earth there. So certain people who would be faint of heart might be in trouble visiting this place. And only the select VIP, VVVVIPs are allowed to go here. Okay. I'll document it. And then this gaslighting, okay, so only the VIPs are going here. However, the other ones who could possibly be voted off of the mountain ranch, um, they're gaslit. That's how they're getting there. They're getting like false pretenses, told like, "Oh yeah, come on over. We're roasting marshmallows out here at the ranch. Nothing nefarious going on at all." Okay, so this is how they get the unwitting people there. They're definitely doing, if you know the Winchester Mystery House, how Sarah Winchester, had the seance room, there's a seance type room here somewhere. S Separate though than the yurt. There's something that happens similar in the yurt, but it's different than what's happening here at this other space. You know what's weird about this other space that's not the yurt? Allegedly, my opinion, black helicopters do not follow me. This other room that I'm seeing is, oh man, this is like Stanford, remote viewing. This is like government Epstein connection, like partnership, where we're doing all the other stuff out here in the yurt. That would be like, I would categorize that like that looks personal. Whatever's happening in this, like it feels like it's I want to say underground. I don't know that I would confirm it's underground. I would say though it's a room, there's no windows and it's dark. This is like kind of also like, remember Ghostbusters where Bill Murray and he's testing the girl and the guy on their ESP or whatever. It's very much like we're doing like remote viewing and we're monitoring the people and what they're doing, but there's also computer monitors there. So it's like a control launch type. I don't know which control room. I don't know. I don't have one of these. But there's a bunch of screens and things like you would see at a news channel or like I've seen for, I don't know, rocket launches, space shuttle launches, whatever. And then on the other side, you see the people who are being like doing remote viewing and things down there. So there's multiple like mind things happening here. But this is very like partnership, personal and government, or whatever you want to call those. Man, this is weird. This is such a place. This is like you can go there and because of the health risk there, it's kind of like I'm getting like Havana syndrome too going on here. But there's also like that whole when the politicians, elites, whatever, they go to that land, I don't know where that is, Davos or one of those things where there's like hookers and stuff, substances to party on. That is also happening here, but it's like some people are given it without their consent, shall we say, to observe them. This is a weird place. Weird. All right, now let's get into my questions because I kind of got the lay of the land now. Okay. I'm already feeling like I'm on something. I'm not, just Diet Coke and some heart meds. All right. Why did, let's say Epstein, if he chose this property, maybe it's just given to him, but why this property specifically? Why? To do work. This is a laboratory. It's a laboratory. And there's military protection or integration or something, however you want to call that there. You're balancing work and play, but there's a lot of information that's coming out of here. And there's a lot of experiments that we can just be done with, and experiments I'm going to call human, that should they go to the other side, we can just say adios to them on the property. There is no funeral. There's no viewing. There is no ceremony. There's nothing. There's just like, oh, that didn't work. Chuck them. So this is, I'm wondering if there's ever going to be anything where like this is just not laid at Epstein's feet, because this is not just him. My opinion, allegedly, my opinion. All right. And then, okay. I think I got this one time in the Secrets and Scandals in the Moonmoth Manor, that there's also these, test tube baby things, but it's, like, more like might be I'm not sure if that's a proper term, educated in California, eugenics? Is this where you make designer babies? I'm getting the designer baby vibe again. Yeah, there's very much designer babies going on. Yeah. Okay, never mind. Not just babies. This would be like mixing and matching with I know. Get your tinfoil hat on. There's also like mixing of things that are not human. I with my limited vocabulary, we're gonna call them some type of alien type things that are getting mixed as well. So this is designer babies. This is like primo, and we're also adding in things from other species. That's how we'll say that. Lord, there's also beyond just doing things in test tubes, there's like, let's call it sexo magico, that they're doing things like procreating, like the actual humans are knocking boots to procreate, but it's done under conditions of not a romantic way. They're very scientific, but ritual. It's weird. Like, I don't know how to describe what I'm seeing except to say that there's two people knocking boots, and it looks like it's not a romantic looking place, but it's a darkened place, and I'll say I see kinda like fabric draped, but I'm also like, there's some dude in the corner with a clipboard, so it's kinda getting weird. Just saying. I don't maybe this is how the royals do it, when they had to make sure that anyway. Yeah, and then they're like they watch. This one almost it's got their little trumpet or whatever, almost looks like she's got a clipboard. Anyhow, yeah, that's weird. So why are they choosing? Because they're choosing the ranch because they can do all sorts of things on the ranch, and none of us regular folk are gonna peep eyeballs on what's happening here. Okay. Ugh. Got it. Let's see what kind of people. Let's do 3 categories because I'm sure there might be more that there's gotta be at least 3 general categories of the people that are being brought out to this ranch. I don't think anybody's coming over and knock, knock, knock. I baked you some cookies. Oh, that was the thing. I do remember, but I'm not going to give it away. In Secrets and Scandals, I don't know if it was this week, not this week. That's happening tomorrow. Last week, week before, somebody did ask about the recent purchase of the ranch, and I did look into that. So that was interesting because it's not what they're saying it is. It's not. Anyhow, moving on. I got that out of my head. Who? Three different types. Who's being brought out to this ranch? Who? 3 types of people being brought out. Or groups of people. Oh, of course. Of course. We got El Diablos here. Yeah. And we got politicians. And we have like workers. Oh. I didn't even think about it like that. Very much so. Okay. Workers, like, I'm going to say government workers. Like, you've seen the things where the workers go into the bases, right? They're not like the people who would go to Area 51, right? They don't live there. They're not military. They're whatever, but they would go there to go do work. And then they come back home. I think that's where they had the special airplane. Okay. And then we have the politicians that go there. And lawmakers, not just politicians. Okay, so high up people in the political sphere, shall we say. So I don't want it to be like it's just people who've been elected to a job. It's not that. They're also like political adjacent. Okay. And then we have the people who are looking for their dirty bird things. Not a shock. Okay. Now let's see. We saw before that some people are brought there and they are told that it's just like for something like, oh yeah, we're going to go there and hang out by the pool. And then they go there and it's like House of Horrors. In general, what was the experience of those who were gaslit into going to the property? Maybe they said, oh, we're doing a photo shoot. Oh, we're doing a commercial. We're doing whatever. They're lying to him for some reason. They're going there to do some type of, okay. Otherwise, if they were told what they were going there for, obviously, they're not going to go. Let's just say they're being cast in both roles for personal and government things, allegedly, in my opinion. And then those are the ones who are being dispersed amongst the property, shall we say, because they're people like the, I'm getting mainly like ladies, although there are some dudes, young dudes. These are younger people, like adults mainly, barely, but these feel like mainly adults who are being gaslit to come over. And it's kind of like, yeah, come over. We'll just make up. We're doing a photo shoot. Come over for a photo shoot. Okay, great. I'm going to come. They get there. Guess what? Not a photo shoot. We're not doing that. You're doing this other job for us, but they don't really tell them like what the job's about. It's not like you're not coming to clean toilets. This is more like, I need you to do this. And it falls into different experiments that they have set up, that they need these people who are specifically chosen to come in and do this stuff. Got it. They do require them to sign an NDA of some sort. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. Something to say, I'm never going to talk about what happens here. However, more times than not, that NDA is never needed because the people are eventually adiosed. Something goes wrong most times with the experiments. Okay. Let's look into why the dirty birds are returning repeatedly, because sure, I could go hire someone, right? Let's think about everybody's favorite, Billy Boy, Bill Jefferson Clinton, BJ Clinton. He can have any lady he wants. He did. He could probably he doesn't even have to call like a Heidi Fleiss, right? Or whoever presidents call. He wouldn't have to call one of them. He could just like probably get some rando, right? But why would, like, say if like a person like him who has the world at his fingertips, why would he want to come over? He falls though in the politician realm too, but let's just keep it to those, like maybe not in office anymore, but people who could hire someone for a night of fun, shall we say. Why would they be going over to this ranch? What's the appeal? What's the attraction? Because there's something else. There's something there that keeps them coming back for more, and I almost want to say it's like, I don't know, I've never tried it, like some type of ayahuasca, peyote, some substance like that, psychedelic, I guess we'll categorize it. Don't know if that's the proper phrasing. Yeah, there's something here where they get into a hallucinogenic stage. Yeah, it feels very, yeah. I'm getting like hallucinogens. Music sounds like weird, like slowed up or sped up, slow down. Lights are all cuckoo nuts. They're like, yeah. So this is not just knocking boots. This is a whole thing for all of the senses, like LSD or something. I don't know. That wasn't my time frame. Okay. Then there's also someone who would have been the master of ceremonies there, and he's directing everybody and making sure also that the high-profile attendees are kept safe-ish. Safe, like, I'm going to watch and make sure that you don't leave and decide to go walk out in the property and get eaten by an alien or fall off a cliff or drown in a river or whatever. There's a safety rail for them to do these things. And there's also an antidote in case they have a bad trip. So then they can go back to their high-powered life or high-stress life, whatever you want to call it, that they can go back to this weirdo life. Oh, this one, okay. I don't ever want to go to any of these parties. No, thank you. I want to go to a party where we're just like thrifting all the time, or we're antiquing. We're going to estate sales. Someone has a thing, a bag to carry all my stuff. That's my kind of party. This, like, oh gosh, no. All right, so then I want to get into the layout of the property. But if you're enjoying this right now, please do me a favor and hit the like button. Just make sure yours works. Maybe your like button's broken today. Is it? I don't know. Just kidding. All right, so let's look into the layout of the property. Like, is there anything specific to how the whole thing's laid out? I'll admit I've not looked at a site plan, so I don't exactly know what's out there. I don't even know that there is a site plan out there for it. But I feel like there's 5 zones, 5 at least. So let's just do 5 piles each. Get a lay of the zones. Auto zone. No. Two of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, 5 of Swords. These are the recruits, shall we call them. These are the recruits that are called out. Maybe we'll do it this way. They've already been pre-selected, or they've already gone through it's like a resume process. They've already gone through all of these things, and they're taken into this, like, I'm going to call it an intake center. Feels very much like a prison. Like they get in there once it's like they've gotten over, you're not here for a modeling job and you're here to be one of our experiments. They're taken into this room where it's like very much like a jail. I need you to strip. I need to like get some details from you here. Put this on, and you're going to stay here until we're ready for you. Ooh, gosh. If some of them decide to act up, there's something administered to them, shall we say. Okay, so there's an intake center. And then this is a holding zone, I guess, for these unwitting people. Okay, another zone. These are in no particular order, just so in case there's some Poindexter out there like, oh my God. It's like, there's no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. Okay, 9 of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, 4 of Cups. This is the government. Oh. This is like there's a special, in my opinion, a government military thing, area, zone here. Not a lot of people get access to that. So that must be where those people who come into work here, this is their special zone area. This is like restricted access. I don't even think El Jefe, he didn't even get in there. He knows where it is. He's not allowed in there though. Okay, next. Justice. 9 of Cups and 6 of Swords. Oh. There's also, shocking, there's a tunnel here. There's a tunnel, like a transportation or like a stop. It's like a spot on the one of their underground get off, get on, get off, whatever. A stop. I'll just say it's a stop, underground stop for transportation connecting to the other whatever things we're doing, which would be more government military things. But like this, you go, it's down. It's not a lot though. It's not like you can go down and, oh, I want to go off and see what's over here. Go see. I can't. There's just like, I go down in the earth somewhere and there's just like, I'm going to call it a track, but it doesn't look like a train track. It's just like a spot for the traffic. We'll say that. People can go down there. They can go. Yeah. Okay. Wherever they need to go. Okay, so wherever they need to go, it's very high speed. It's almost like, I don't know, it could have been, I want to say like it's so fast, it's like a blink of an eye, but I don't want to say teleportation. It's not that down there. It's just a method of transportation. All right, next. The Temperance, the Tower, the Four of Pentacles. This is the, we'll call it the graveyard. That's another area on the property. That is the graveyard. It's very efficient, their system, for once they take them in the intake area and they do whatever they're doing, and then however things shake out. If they need to, there's a very efficient process, like an assembly line of what they do. Now that's interesting. They're showing like they do something different than a process that a funeral home would do. It's not an embalming, but there is something that they like extract out of the remains to make it so they are not immediately detectable by predators that would be on the land. And I don't know what that would mean, because it feels like maybe it's like an extraction injection, like we're pulling something out of the body, like that would alert for decay, that maybe some predators, there's already predators there, but other predators on the land would like disturb the grave. So we're doing something to pull it out of the body so that these things are not coming after it. But there's also, it's like kind of embalming, but it's not embalming because it's like a quick decay additive. I don't know. All right, last. There's some I don't know if the yurt is the spiritual place. It's like the church. I'm using the phrase church very lightly, but there's like a church zone there. I think that's where that psychedelic shit's happening. Like that's one of the things that can happen there. Yeah, it's also like you can have one-on-one, we'll call them journeys, one-on-one journeys. So you can do this in a group, you can do it in a journey. Okay, so we got multiple things happening. All right, so there's multiple various things there. Interesting. Let's see what the main house is about, because there is that big old main mansion. What's the main mansion about? Of course, it's all ledge, remember? Don't come after me, Blackhawks, government, whoevs. Main mansion, what are you doing in there? Because I assume this is where El Jefe hung out all the time. Okay, this is where, maybe I need to move that over a little bit. This is where he's in the house. He gets to, let's say it's essentially like we'll call it a hunting lodge. He seems to run around there chasing after the prey. Fill in the blank who the prey is in your minds, not in my comments. Okay, he's chasing around okay, he's going around, he's chasing, he's doing all sorts of things. Blow darts. It's almost like there's hazards set up in the house for chasing in the house, because the house is so big, but it's like, oh, but it's air conditioned and it's private and we can have fun in here. This is like, we don't have to be out in the elements. Like I've gotten on some of these other places I've done the readings on where, like, was that Necker Island I did that reading on, and it was like it's kind of almost like a false island setting where they were chasing the people around. They would run into like artificial walls just to make sure that they couldn't escape. Similar idea. They're inside these walls of the mansion, no escaping. Okay. So that's part of what he's doing in there. This is like, okay. Oh God. And then he's procreating or working on his lab. The lab's in the house. It's in a separate wing, perhaps. Okay. That's interesting. Then at some point, like sometimes there's something that's happening here while we're trying to procreate. I'll call it like that. But I don't think it's not anybody's choosing. It's done against their will. And it feels like this is like part of these experiments where some of them, they lose their audiost. But it's not like they're not voted off the island intentionally. It's almost like from whatever they're doing, it's too much. It's like And I don't even want to say brute force, but brute medicine. Like too much is injected into whatever they're doing. And it's like not normal science. No. And then some people actually who are gaslit into coming here are actually released. So some are released. So they're not like all buried out in the backyard. They're not. But some are released, depending that they want to, let's say, from the perspective of the people who are running the ranch, which is just like Epstein and military government, whoever's politico, whatever's, versus the gaslit person. If a relationship is formed where it's agreeable, they like this person a lot and they want to keep doing tests and studies and whatever. These ones who are seem to be like valuable that they don't want to lose, they treat them very well. And the gaslit people seem to be okay once they've found out like what's going on here and it's been beneficial in some form, fashion to them, they agree to come back. Okay. Must be desperate. But the main house really seems to be the whole like, we're making hybrids and humans. Is that a new bar in New Mexico? It might be. We're making hybrids and humans over here. Okay. No, thank you. Okay. Let's see what the yurt. I think the yurt is where we're doing the hallucinogenics and things like this visual I'm seeing. I don't want to see no more. It's like picture fat politicians, sweaty fat politicians, nakedy. Ugh. High as a kite. All right, let's see what else I can get. What is the yurt? Why do we need the defib? It might be because of the land, but this, okay, so this is, yeah, the yurt is like the main event. This is the magical after hours party in the yurt. Yeah, like this is built up. This is a thing the people talk about, these people to the other people, like, oh my God, have you been to the yurt? Oh my God, you gotta go to the yurt. Like that sicko. Okay. It's very much like the Magic Castle in LA, very much like invitation only. You have to know someone to know someone. So this must be why the elite politicians and whoever adjacent politicals are allowed in, because they know someone who gets them in there. And okay. Should they want a Nino or a Nina? You know what I'm saying? Don't put it in the comments. They can have one. Should they want adults? They can have them. Whatever their heart's desire happens there, but it's facilitated. It's still being facilitated. Someone is there protecting them because this is not just about straight that knocking boots. This is like we've added enhancements to this. That's an interesting detail. Somewhere else this had been tried. The psychedelic yurt, we'll call it, where they're offering, here, would you like to take this? And a lot of these politicians took it and had a bad reaction, didn't come out of it right. This is like a place where they can do this, and it's like guaranteed that they're going to be okay after. Obviously, they're not okay to begin with because they're going to this fucking yurt. But this is like, they went to some other, like, I don't know if we want to say G20 or one of these big wig events that all these people go to, a Davos, a economic forum, whatever, one of those types of things. They had gone and this experience was offered there, but a lot of them fell ill. They could not go back to work, messing up our lives. They couldn't go back and do those things. And so this was where the idea was, these are essentially our captured customers. They're more beneficial to us if we can keep them in-house. So again, the yurt is still like a private public enterprise, I guess we'll call it. El Jefe is kind of facilitating it, so it feels more private, public versus public, government, military, whatever. But it's because there's surveillance happening in the yurt as well. So blackmail tapes, all of our memories, that kind of stuff is there as well to facilitate, but we're facilitating this so they get the best experience. And I assume these people are just so used to being blackmailed that they're like, there's 20 tapes out there of me doing X, Y, and Z. What do I care? Right? Okay. And then there's people who, there's actually some type of medical professional on site, just in case, who can use a defib or whatever else they need to make sure that things don't turn permanent. Okay. All right. That's enough. I would like to leave the yurt now. Thank you. Let's see if there's restricted places beyond like the ones I've mentioned. Is there any other restricted places at this property? And who was in charge of it? Because maybe El Jefe, Jeffrey Epstein, had his own restricted place. I don't know what he would keep there. It'd be so restricted, but yes, there's another restricted place. This is real. Okay. I'm not even sure what this all means. This is another inner sanctum of El Jefe. This is not, though, this is like then VVVVVVVVVIP, like super at the top. Like a handful of people have gone to this inner sanctum. Like this is the Jeffrey Epstein special deluxe temple thing that's just for the very, very special, like very, very, very special who go there. So maybe a BJ Clinton would go there. Anyhow, they go there. This is like a luxury environment where the yurt feels very utilitarian, sweaty, gross, stinky, smelly. Bleh. This is so like posh. This would be like the palace, like, I don't know, Buckingham Palace or one of those. Like there's velvet, there's gold, there's opulence. It's like very expensive. It's fancy. It's immaculate. It's immaculate. It's almost like you could get whatever you could dream of. Like if you say, I want caviar, you can get caviar. I want to smoke a cigar from Cuba, you can do that. This is like different type level desires are being met. And it's kind of like, I'll call it like a smoking lounge. It's a private quarters for discussion of ideas, and all the luxuries are there for facilitating this. Ideas, projects, plans are discussed like a fancy boardroom, but it's like not a boardroom. It's like more casual, but it's not casual. Like this is fancy pants furniture. Oh, and then also leverage is exerted by El Jefe onto whoever, basically like saying like, yeah, Bill Gates, I know you were just out there in my yurt. I know what happened out there in your, just want to let you know, we got that sweet memory on tape. Okay, so there's that if it's needed, because certain people are invited by El Jefe, but El Jefe is directed by someone higher than him, and I'm going to say in the military government arenas, whoever they may be, allegedly, my opinion, Blackhawks don't come me, that he is then essentially put onto the sales floor, shall we say, to discuss projects, things that interest him, things that interest those other parties. And this is where, depending on what he's being put in there to be the salesman on, this is where they can leverage these Memorex memories. Oh, also some fates are decided. Okay, so there's also some fates that are decided in terms of, if you're not going to play ball after everything we did, we can do the easy thing and we can leverage this for us. If they're still being difficult, perhaps they have a bit of an ego on them, they're like, "Well, sorry we couldn't come to a deal." They keep it very gentlemanly, but there's something that happens in the send-off, whether it's the hug, the handshake, the something, there's something added to them that makes it so that guaranteed safe trip or trip doesn't go as well as they had thought. They have after effects later on when they're way far away from the ranch. This is a place of nightmares. Ugh, no good. Okay, so we're gonna get into the allegations. I got all sorts of other stuff going on here. Let me check in with you guys, see if you guys are having fun. Yeah. I don't well, how late? We're like, yeah, we're 45 minutes in. So we're going. We're getting going here. Oh, yeah, Dick Cheney had hunts. Hmm. Yeah, I wonder if he did take Liz. That's kind of an interesting question. But thank you all for being here. All right, we're going to keep going on. Let's get into let's look into the defibrillator. Was it actually used? It feels like it was, but because there's medical professionals like a doctor or whatever going on there. So we'll see if the defibrillator, or maybe let's ask, that could have been used in accordance or with the happening of a medical event. Medical events. Let's just look into that common umbrella category, medical events. And if you want the energy behind the weekly news, come into the Moon Moth Manor Tuesdays. That's tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Secrets and scandals happening. Become a member. We're also doing our first psychic investigation club. That is happening on Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we're going to investigate the Marfa lights. If you want to bring your tarot cards or your pendulum or your automatic writing or whatever, come join us you can join us in the Moon Moth Manor. You can just buy a ticket if you want to do a one-time thing. It's all at AliciaWicker.com. But that's also happening on Thursday. Anyhow, let us see what medical event was the most common medical emergencies at the ranch. Quite a few. That's 10 of wands. That's quite a few. That's I'm gonna say 8 to 9 times out of 10 that's related to the yurt. Events at the yurt. No, sorry. They're backing me up. It's not 8 times out of 10. It's like 7 times out of 10 it's the yurt, and the other like 30% over at the medical experimentation with the gaslit individuals. So they must have, that operations run a lot tighter than what it is over here at the yurt. Although the yurt's still pretty good, but more things are happening out here on the yurt. Okay, so then you have whoever this facilitator is. I think sometimes it's El Jefe, sometimes it's other people. But there's like, here's the yurt, and outside the yurt, here's the doctor, here's his nurse, here's the stuff, like all the equipment outside, just right beyond. Like, it feels like this is like fabric type walls, leather type wall, something like it's not a brick wall, right? And so they can hear, and in case like El Jefe's inside and he's like, need help, and he says it very quietly, like there's some code word, but it's like said quietly, and it's said like not in an excited manner. It's not an excited utterance. Need help or help here, something. That's not the phrase. Anyway, and then these people just quietly come in. They've been waiting right outside. Like that's where they're posted, outside. Oh. Okay. They render aid. Most times they're successful. This is okay. So the medical emergencies are taken care of in here. So there's more of them happening in the yurt than they're happening out in the gaslit intake experimental zone. Okay. They're using the defibrillator. There's also some other, sometimes it's just smelling salts, but sometimes there's the EMP thing. I don't know what else to call that. It's some pulsation from the earth that's getting some of the folks that go in there. And it's like, because I'm seeing a lot of the ones that are having events are like older dudes. Like I'm gonna say, and we're gonna put them in the 60-ish minimum realm. Ugh, fat and sweaty and gross. So sometimes they need the clear thing. Sometimes they're getting little help that way. But they're it's like they're taken care of, but it's usually either like they've overexerted, it's hot and sweaty in there, they're having an adverse reaction to the tripping elements they were administered, or the vibration things like getting to them. That vibration thing, it reminds me, it's like very low rumbling, like kind of like if you've ever been next to, I'll call them the boom boom cars, like we like the cars that go boom. Okay, so if you remember back in the day being around the cars that went boom, if you lived in an area that had cars that go boom or been in a car that went boom, the vibration in those super loud cars got into the core of your soul, and that's a feeling like you don't forget. Like, this is what I'm feeling in this when we have these, I'll call them earth events. It's like deeply, and it like can mess with some of these people's hearts. Too bad. Okay. Let's see if the graves, have they ever been dug up before? Have they been touched since the souls have been placed there? So anybody checked into the graves? Occasionally. In general, no, but on occasion when the location has been tampered with, messed with, drawn attention from, moved to safety, somebody, it was raising some suspicion somewhere. But like, so it's not like Mrs. Kravitz next door was like, what's happening over there? It's not that. There's either natural animal predators, they didn't do the job right of preparing the remains, are coming and finding remains, and we don't want a random arm to end up down the road at someone else's ranch or whatever on the loose where they can't control that. So on occasion, there's been relocation done and preparation, remediation done to the remains. Yeah. Who'd want that job? Oh, gross. So they're moved, but this is internal investigation. Okay, so let me see if this has been investigated by like officials. Officials who are not tainted by the El Jefe circle that's going on here at the ranch. This, I'd have to guess slim to none, because then this wouldn't have gone on, but let's just ask. Okay. People have heard about these individuals who have been put out there. They've heard about the graveyard. We'll just say that. They've heard about it. There's been multiple tips that have been, so this dude who sent in the tip to whoever, who broke into the ranch, this is not the first tip that has been fielded by others who are not in the El Jefe Jeffrey Epstein circle. Okay. And then conveniently that tip gets buried or it's put at the bottom of the work pile. No, sir, you can't go work and investigate this tip. I've got a hot case for you. You need to go investigate this. Get out there and take care of this. Mrs. Kravitz is out there and she's just, she's mad about those boom boom cars driving by. You better go take care of that. We'll take care of this. So it's very, they've had tips and then it's just brushed under the rug. It's like, don't look at that. No, we need you to go check this like other thing out. So they're not investigated like that should the tips have come in. Okay. Um, I think like my next question is like, who would have known what was happening out there? I think we have an idea. Politicians, they're BFFs, like who maybe aren't politicians, but in the political arena. So all of those people, they know about it. My opinion, allegedly, Blackhawks don't come for me. Military knows about it. Government, like we'll say, no bueno government. Like I'm not really saying there's a good part of government, you know what I'm saying? But the super evil part of government, they would know about it because I think it's a part of their operating budget. Allegedly, my opinion, don't come for me. So I think we know. Let's say there's good politicians out there. What did they know about it, and what were they thinking about, if anything, about doing about it? Because it looks like there was some tips and there was some people who wanted to do something about it, and they're told not to. But let's see if there's higher up people in the government who knew about it and wanted to go investigate it. This might turn back into what we got in the Secrets and Scandals reading, but let's see. Okay. I think this is coming back to what I mentioned earlier in the stream. So if you're just joining me, last week before, not sure when, one of our Secrets and Scandals, we looked into that there was some Christian-based group that bought Zorro Ranch recently. It's a front. That's what I got in the reading. It's a front for government people to go investigate the ranch now. This is so how they can, my opinion, this ain't fact, I'm a psychic, so that they can go in there now and investigate it. But we're going to say it's going to be like for some Christian ranch or some shit. Like, I think because that would play well in the media, right? It's like, oh, look at all this evil that was probably done there because it belonged to Jeffrey Epstein. Now there's these good Christian folks. They're going to take care of it. Okay. We know how that story can also go. That could also be a Jim and Tammy Faye Baker or whatever. I love Tammy Faye Baker. Go away. Okay. Okay. So essentially, let's say that there's some agency investigating that's not as corrupted as the other ones. They're going out there to investigate. So yeah, they're out there. But it's under the cover, I think, of this whatever bought it. So whoever the buyers are, that's not theirs, they're buying it. It's like, you know how they do it in the government. I don't even remember. Like, they have ways of doing it. Like, this has gone back for like decades. I'd say almost, I don't know if it's been 100 years, but it's gone on for like a long time. Like, go back to the Bush family and, you know, the CIA connections and, oh, we're going to move to Texas. And you go back to the Preston Bush and all the stories that go out with that thing. Go and research that. Same thing. It's like a private public endeavor. This is a cover. The government's going in there right now. So, but it's like covert, kind of. I guess it's not covert now. Who, you're not going to tell. I'm not going to tell. We're good. Okay. Anyhow, let's see if there's any new evidence that's going to be brought out for the public to give a better understanding of what was happening there. Is there new evidence to come out of this investigation happening there? Yep. Yes, there's definitely new evidence to come out of this place. Okay. Okay, so new evidence that's going to be coming out of this ranch investigation. But there's a strategic way that they're going to be bringing the information out. So it's in, let's bring out Mildred, because there's some other part of this that it goes along with. So it's not just like breaking news tonight, what we found at Zorro Ranch. Not that. There's some other piece of the puzzle that comes out, and I'm not quite sure. Is this Ghislaine? Is this, who knows? There's some other piece, like they're dovetailing it. Like, once they get the information they want about the ranch to disclose, it's going to be, well, we'll keep them. There's the bone. There's the sun. They're bringing up about, we will hear about the remains out there, working to identify them. But let's see what else they're waiting on. Okay. children, labs, and other terrible things. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so this would be like Trump's coming out with some type of message. He wants to be the one who's like, "Oh, I'm cleaning it up out there. Well, there's terrible things going on, right? Whatever." Um, Talking about the baby lab eugenics, whatever, or designer babies or alien babies, whatever, that kind of crap as well. Like things we've never heard about before. Which is kind of true. I'm thinking about like what was the last thing we heard about like Dolly the sheep cloning? Federal government wasn't going to fund that anymore. Was that in BJ Clinton's era? Something about Dolly the sheep and cloning. And then nobody ever talked about it again in the government realm that I recall. Anyhow, more information about that coming up. Candle, feather. There's some like breaking news that comes in relation to it's like a dovetail. And I'm not sure that this is like Ghislaine gets a pardon. I'm not getting that, but there's almost like Ghislaine becomes a cooperating witness. Okay. Beyond like what we think about like who's playing who and what's all the thing. Let's just stay in the realm of these are characters, right? She comes forth and she's like, I don't know if we want to say she's had something's been put on my heart and I just must help. Right? Something happens here where she wants to like, I have to tell you the whole story. I want to confess. I want to let you know what was happening out there. There's some type of cooperation with Ghislaine that helps. That's what I'm getting. I don't think there's anybody else. Unless there's somebody else. There could be. I'm just using Ghislaine as a placeholder, someone who had been intimate with what was going on there. Maybe there's some other lady we haven't heard about. Either way, there's some whistleblower, we'll just say that, that's going to come forward. She wants to, or I keep referring to she, wants to refer to what was happening there. And it's like, this is unexpected. But the way they're pairing the information is not unexpected. We're just waiting to see what happens there, what they discover over here at the ranch. Okay. Let's see. I don't know. We're going to get specific names because we won't unless they pop them in my brain. Who's going to get impacted next by what's been happening out at the ranch? Who's the biggest person to suffer a fall or the biggest type of person? I'd guess politician. I don't know why Fauci's name came up. That's kind of weird. Why would he be coming up in my brain? If it's not him, it's somebody like him. So I'm not saying anything about him, but it's somebody like him where it's like they're the medical director, shall we say. Like that's like, oh my God, I did not see this turn coming when the story's like breaking. Like, this is a snake oil salesman. That's what I'll say. It's a snake oil salesman. This is like the first one that's like, they're looking to lean on about like somehow this connection. So it's not even going after the politicians or the politically adjacent people. This is going after the medicine man of the yurt or the property. This person's put into a different perspective. Like the snake oil salesman, like it's like, oh my gosh, they were a doctor, let's just say. For example, I don't know that it's Fauci, but that's the example they're showing me where I'm telling you that this is good or it's medicine to help you, whatever, right? And then you find out they're doing like shady shit behind the scenes, right? I'm like, doctors should not be doing that, right? That's kind of like example, what was it? The Lamb Funeral Home, right? Where it's like, oh, we're supposed to be taking care of your dead. But then you find out it's like a massive factory behind the scenes and they're not caring for your dead. Same idea. Okay. I'm curious about Prince Andrew. I mean, former Prince Andrew Mountbatten, Windsor, Saxe-Coburg, Kolkata, whatever their dumb name is. Did Prince Andrew go out to the Zorro Ranch? Randy Andy, did you go out to did you air miles, Andy? Did you use your air miles to go out to the Zorro Ranch? I think it was Andrew and Fergie were both out there. They're both I think she went more than he did. What the hell is she doing out there more than him? She's out there quite a bit, allegedly, in my opinion. She is out there quite a bit. I don't think we've heard the depth of the connection between Epstein and Fergie. I think that's even deeper than anything that we think we know about that. That's just, this is like how we thought Ghislaine was like his partner in crime. I think we're gonna find out like Fergie's like also a top contender for partner in crime. Because I've gotten that before in readings, but now it's like now she's out there at that ranch, which I guess that's not that shocking. Like she's an ambassador of some shit. She is like the female compatriot, or maybe that's not the right word, but she's like the, if he can't be there to facilitate shit in the yurt, then she's there. And she gives this like caring, mothering female vibe that I guess certain clientele, shall we say, enjoy. So that's not something I would picture that would come out of her though, because she just strikes me as this like horse's ass. I wouldn't like see her in a motherly type figure. Like I wouldn't expect her to comfort me if I'm having any type of issue, right? I wouldn't expect that she would. But this is like she's playing some role like, oh, don't worry, darling, I'm gonna be here. I've done it. It's fine. It's gonna take care of you. Right? Weird. She's there to like facilitate. She's, my opinion, she's just like him. Oh, you would like some Nino, Nina, youngin? We'll have that too. But she's like a facilitator, allegedly, in my opinion. That's what this is like. Oh God, ick, ick. All right, I've had enough of this shit. Okay. So I'm gonna check in on the comments. I was gonna check the tip line for on the YouTube membership. If there's some story you want me to look into, you know, on that top tier, the membership on YouTube, submit a tip. It tells you how inside the membership, and you can submit one, and we'll look into your question here at the end of our show. But everybody's behaving this week, or everybody's busy, so no tip this week. So let me go check in on the comments before we head out of the joint. Thank you. Thank you. Back at ya. Well, good thing you guys can watch the replay. Yes. I definitely, El Jefe definitely was this prime specimen somehow of a man, a lover, whatever you want to call it for her. It just makes you wonder. Heidi, thank you. I'm sure they're serving Diet Coke. I'm having my Diet Coke after we finish this live. Don't hate me, Heidi, but I love you. Oh, gosh. You're welcome. Happy to be at work with you. We can work together. You know how it goes. I got some work to do now. I got some private readings booked. If you've been waiting on private readings, there's private readings on the website. Go book them. There's also mystery crystal boxes. If you want to do that, we got $5 shipping. There's also all sorts of good stuff happening at AliciaWicker.com. So if you're looking for crystals, we have that for you. I am live, Jackie. That is me. I'm live. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Guitars and stuff. I bet you Randy Andy, he sweated there. That was his, like, maybe that's how he got his mojo back to sweating again, you know, with his funny story. After the Falklands War, couldn't sweat. But he got his mojo back. I think that's where he learned to sweat again. I'm sure somebody wants to write a song about it. Like, who had that song, like, Never Gonna Dance Again? Oh, that was George Michael. Stop it, George Michael. Oh, I don't even want to tell you what happened with the George Michael reading last week and Secrets and Scandals. Oh, no. It was terrible. Heart was broken, still kind of broken. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy your garnet ring. There's a few garnet rings still left in the shop like this. This is the garnet ring in case the ring shoppers are looking. This is the little, I don't know if the camera will get it. Get my eyes out here. It's this little 3 garnet ring. It's super comfortable. That's why I enjoy it. Oh yeah, please hit the like button, por favor, before I head out and get back to work. And you guys have to get back to work. You better don't get your boss mad at you. I don't want you in trouble. I'll turn off the internet. So anyhow, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Yes, illusions. I don't know if illusions were shattered about George Michael, but heartbroken. I think I knew there might have been something there, but I didn't want to believe it. Anyhow, please. Thank you, everybody. Please remember, like the thing for me. I appreciate that. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you, guys. And definitely going to see you in the Moonmoth Manor. If you're a member, come on over. We have our Secrets and Scandals, 4 p.m. Bring your news stories. We're going to look into them. And, oh, yeah, Palm Beach Pete. Bring that. If you're on the tip line, send me the thing. We'll look into Palm Beach Pete. That guy, that's kind of a weird story, is it not? I don't think that's just happens to be out there on the loose and someone caught a picture of Palm Beach Pete. Don't think so. But okay, we'll go with that. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for being here. Love you. Take care. Be safe out there. And mind your P's and Q's and stay away from any yurts. All right. What we do here is the public conversation. Moonmoth Manor is the private one. Every Tuesday, we go live and break down the week's biggest headlines in real time, the power shifts, the leverage, the energy underneath it all. It's not a continuation of this stream. It's a different conversation entirely. If that's the one you've been looking for, the door's open. I'll see you inside.